Happy Flossmas Vlogmas, everyone. Day one, here we go. We're here. It's finally December 1st. I even dressed up for you for the occasion today. Did you see my socks? Those were cozy knitter self-striping holiday advent socks that I knit at least a year ago that I finished those, and I'd never worn them because I was saving them for good, as you do. And I thought, what better occasion than to wear them for the first time today on day one. Yeah, so hooray, we're finally here. So let's open up day one of the holiday 2022 Evertote Roxy Floss Co. Modern Folk Embroidery Stitch Along. Day one, holiday countdown. Here we go. So welcome to day one of our holiday countdown. You will have hopefully opened your box by now and discovered all of the lovely packages inside. Our instruction pamphlet was on the very top, along with your, if you chose the fabric, that will have been wrapped up in a package for you in the top as well. So day one is a little bit heavy. We kind of had to give you a lot on day one because you'll need it for the stitch along. So day one was a pretty good day. So this is the Roxy Floss Co. Panettone linen in whatever size you chose, and we would have sent you the approximate wide eighth. Most of them were a wide eighth. Some of them might be a little bit bigger, a little bit wider. We are going to be stitching this in the horizontal orientation and not the vertical orientation. I know you're gonna hear me say this a bunch of times because I'm really hoping that we don't have too many people start it the wrong way. So our instruction booklet for the full kit, you have a chart here that's nice and blank where you can fill in your floss colors that you open on a daily basis from your pack. So every day when you open day one, fill in the names of your floss colors, and that will help you keep track of what the symbols are as we work our way through the stitch along. Let's see, details on the project. If you are working from, actually, you know what, the people who bought the countdown as a full chart, I've had a lot of questions about color choices so that you can join in. And so I will talk a little bit more about that in a minute when I turn the camera around. Day one, are we ready to open it up? Very exciting. To make sure that I get this the right way around, because the card comes inside. This is the first day, oops, upside down there. This is our first part of the pattern. So I'm not going to flip this around because obviously it has the chart on it. But you're going to find one of these little cards in every day when you open up your package. So the day one stitching that we need to do today is on this card. We have our needle minder, which is so sweet. See the birds? We do have a few extras of these. We have a few extras of most of the floss. Some of the needle minders, I think we've got maybe 10 or 15 needle minders left. And another treat, I'll talk about the floss in just a minute. We also did a cabochon for you. These were all made entirely by us. We made all of them. And that was actually a few fun days. We've given you a flexible key ring and sweet cabochon on there. These key rings, they open just by unscrewing. So you just open them up like that, and then you can put your floss hard to do this. I'll be looking through the lens of the camera here. Do it back up again. So each day you can add your next day's floss onto the ring. And day one, we have Tannenbaum, which is the most beautiful dark green. So that's going to be our first day's floss, Tannenbaum. Day one, holiday countdown. And that, surprise! I hope that you love it. We had so much fun. We had so much fun packing this box. It was really a joy. Enjoy. Okay, let's turn the camera around and have a little chat. I hope you love it. See my tree? I even that's why I went to Canadian Tire this morning, because I wanted to get a little holiday something pretty to put there. So I found that little tree. It was even on sale. It was on sale, and it came with the lights and everything. And I can't kill it. It's not potted or anything. It's just a little artificial tree. Might try to straighten that top. And I need to make some little ornaments for it. I think that's next. So day one, stitch along. A few questions I had from Janata asked me whether her size of 14 count would be big enough, and any wide 8, so as long as it's 18 inches by at least 13 or 14 inches. Let me just double check. Okay, so the stitch count on this entire stitch along, so the whole piece, the stitch count is 149 stitches wide by 110 stitches tall. So yes, it's horizontal. On a 14 count piece of fabric, with 3-inch borders, you'll need a piece of fabric that's about 17 by 14. So Janata, your fabric is plenty big enough. So that gives you the stitch count for those of you who are following along with the chart, with the full chart. That's the other question that I need to address. Many of you who are following along with the countdown who do not have the full kit, but you have the pattern booklet that you're going to follow along with the daily stitch along, which is so fun. There are so many people going to be doing this daily stitch along. I love it. It really, it's created this great sense of excitement for me anyways, for the whole month of December. If you have a minute, read through the comments on the video that I put out a couple of days ago, as well as, please leave me a comment below on, what you're doing, why you're excited about this. A few of the comments that were left on the last video about why you're excited about this, and for some of you it's your very first stitch along, for some of you it's your birthday month, and I love feeling like I know kind of what you're doing in your month of December while we're all stitching this together. We have a hashtag. So if you are on Instagram, first of all, you can follow me on Instagram at evertotes. I'll put it up on the screen here. It will also be in the description box below. We have a hashtag that you can use on Instagram that's just hashtag #CountdownSal. And if you tag your posts with that hashtag and you also follow that hashtag, you'll be able to see other people's progress as we go throughout the month, and we can all join in together. So the most frequent question I've been getting are from the stitchers who are joining us who are not getting the daily envelopes of the floss for the stitch along. And you all want to know, what colors do I choose? What colors should I put together? Where should I go? Many of you feel a little uncomfortable picking your own palette of floss, which is totally understandable. Lots of people are comfortable with it. Lots of people are really not comfortable with it. Nothing wrong with that at all. So my best advice to you is, if you are super uncomfortable choosing, because keep in mind, this design, we're stitching it with 25 colors of floss for those who got the full kit. But this is a Jacob chart. This is a modern folk embroidery chart. His charts are always open to your own interpretation. So with that in mind, this entire design can easily be stitched with one color. This design can easily be stitched with 2 colors. So choose your favorite color and then choose a secondary color as an accent. Many of you who watch my floss tubes, you will have seen my Hälsingland Blommer, the pillow that's on the really bright green fabric that I'm stitching with 2 colors. The chart is designed for 1 color on a white background. It's a red design on a white background, and I'm stitching on a green background with 2 colors. I've got my main color, and then I'm just choosing little areas where to place little pops, little accents of color. This chart, you can do that as well. And as we stitch along throughout the month, take your main color, and each day you can do the majority of the design in that single color, and then choose little areas where you might just want to add a single, you know, little pop of color. That's really the easiest way to handle this if you're feeling super uncomfortable about choosing lots of colors. It's not an overly Christmas design. This is a piece that you're going to be able to display in your home year-round. As you can tell from the title of our stitch along, it is a band sampler. It's a Frisian band sampler. So yeah, I think, you know, and if you're confident choosing your own colors as we go, 25 colors that you love, and it's, keep in mind, it's just floss. So if you're pulling from your own stash and you add in a color that you decide on day 3 you don't really love it, well, you can always go back and just take out a few stitches and restitch it. Or, you know, you might know right away that the color that you've picked you don't really love. So take it out and choose something else. In the end, it's just fabric and floss. There shouldn't be any pressure here. There shouldn't be any stress. This is just for fun. So have some fun with it. Be creative and pick some colors. Here's a nice up close of what the Tannenbaum looks like. There we go. Is it gonna focus? There, finally. Good gravy. It's a beautiful green. So we do have, like I mentioned, I think I mentioned already, we have a little bit of leftover floss. Not all of the colors, but most of the colors. We have some leftover floss. So what we've decided to do is every 5 days, we are going to list the remaining floss in the shop, just as individual colors. Whatever we have left is going up in the shop. Most of the holiday countdown they are one-of-a-kind flosses that will not be in the regular collection. So there are a few colors that will be joining the regular collection, but we'll be talking about that not until January. So Tannenbaum is the floss of the day, and let's get started. I've just had a question come in on the video from a couple of days ago from Linda. Linda asked a really good question. Actually, it's come in at a really handy time here, Linda, because probably a lot of people are going to be wondering this. Linda's question is, how do we know where to place the day 2 pattern? Which of course isn't until tomorrow. However, if you're wondering now, let me assure you, when you open up day 2, it will be very apparent where you need to put, where it will belong. So don't worry. When you open day 2, you'll get it. And also I'll be helping you. So when I post my day 2 video, if there's been any other questions or concerns or you couldn't figure it out, I'll help you through it tomorrow night. One more. Barbara just left me this comment. Barbara says, does logging onto YouTube and refreshing your page every 15 minutes or so count as excited? Yes, Barbara, that counts as lovely and very excited, which I love. So that is a very good point that I can bring up. I had originally, in years past, Flossmas videos have sort of been a bit random timing throughout the day, you know, whenever I had a chance to sort of get them loaded. However, this year's a little bit different because of the fact that I'm hosting the stitch along and so many of you are participating in this stitch along. It's really important that this is part of my job, actually. And funny side note, I said to John the other night, I said, I have to sit down and I have to stitch this thing because I need it for this thing. And he looked at me and he said, you've arranged all of this, haven't you? This is what you've been planning all along, that it would be your job, that you would have to stitch. And I said, you finally figured me out. So yes, it is my job now to stitch and to lead you through this stitch along. So to that end, I am going to try my very hardest to have each day's video uploaded to YouTube by 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you have any questions about that day's stitching or package that you've opened, 7 p.m. will be the time, that Eastern Standard Time, that you can start, you know, wandering around YouTube and see if I've uploaded my video. I'm really going to try super hard to have it ready to go by 7 p.m. What that means is that my stitching for the stitch along won't be completed until day 2, which is kind of what I was planning on doing anyways, because I'm really hoping that people aren't going to post the stitching for that day until the next day. So it sort of follows along with that as well. So when I post day 2's video, you will see my version of day 1. And so if there's been any questions about day 1, I can answer them in day 2, and so on and so forth. So thank you for your comments. Thank you for your questions. We're all in this together, and I think it's going to be a ton of fun. Okay, so now time to load my fabric onto the scroll rods and put the first stitch in. Okay, so I've got my bottom scroll rod is attached, and I'm just about to attach the top scroll rod, but I had a couple of people, I've just answered this same question a couple of times, and it's a good one, so I thought I would just pop in here and make a note of it. We talked about this chart already, and you'll notice the stitch count on the side. This is not the stitch count for each day. This is the total stitch count for that color. So day 1, Tannenbaum, there is 734 stitches in this chart in its entirety. So we are going to use this color again. It's going to come back. So I hope that clears that up. And for the people who messaged me or left a comment on the channel, great question, because you know that other people will have the exact same one. So there we go. Okay, so time to wrap up today's video with just a side note about Flossmas, Vlogmas in general, the fundraising that I'd like to do this month, geared towards Muscular Dystrophy Canada. Patty Brake, 4 boys and a Newfoundland girl, has once again this year designed our Flossmas chart. You can see in the corner back here, I've got 2019's. This was one that I've actually finished and fully finished. So I'd love to do the same thing this year. I love this chart. This was 2019's Flossmas ornament. Let's get that. Here we go. Can you hear Luna behind me? She is snoring up a storm. Let's put that back. There. Okay. So Flossmas Vlogmas fundraising this year for Muscular Dystrophy Canada. The Flossmas charts are not quite ready to go. A good friend of both Patty's and mine, Robin, stitched the model for this year's Flossmas ornament, and she had sent it back in the mail to Patty, and Patty, as you know, lives in Newfoundland. Canada Post has not cooperated. Patty does not have the model back yet, and so I'd like to wait to show you the pattern until Patty has the model, and so that you get a good representation of how sweet this chart really is. And so I don't believe they're going to be ready for purchase today, but I think that Patty is I mean, she offered that we could put them up for sale today, but I said, you know, there's really no rush, right? Let's wait and let's have the model and let's show it tomorrow. So I'll have more information tomorrow once those charts are available for purchase for the fundraising for Muscular Dystrophy Canada. So more about that as we go throughout the month. I will be hosting some auctions over on my Instagram page at Evertotes, and yeah, we're already starting off with $350 Canadian, which is amazing. So hooray, let's see what we can do this month. Okay, that's day 1. off we go. Let's have fun, enjoy your stitching. I hope that you love this pattern. It's again, I know I keep saying this, but really it's just been so fun. And I'm not gonna lie, we've already been talking about next year already. So yeah. Okay, happy day one, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow for day 2. Happy stitching.